Hey there, hockey fans. Time to talk a little Liberty D2 action. Rep McGibbon here alongside Patrick Strawn. And Pat, second time in program history, Flames walk away with a MACH.
Yeah, they did, and obviously they do it in dominating fashion. You have an undefeated regular season, which is something rare to see. Obviously, a team going undefeated in conference play. The Flames were able to do so, and then this is a bit of a tougher year in the MACH. A lot of teams were ranked in the top of the Southeast, and a lot of teams you'll see at the Southeast Regional. But yeah, I mean, obviously, this wasn't an easy feat for the Flames, and not only were they able to walk away with the regular season champ and number one seed, they walk away with, from what I understand, the first ever Player of the Year.
That's
First
right.
ever Rookie of the Year, Luke McFarland, Player of the Year, Blake Flanders, and also Ben Hughes in his third season, Coach of the Year, and then they put the cherry on top with winning their only the second ever conference championship.
Yeah, let's talk about the job that Ben Hughes has done with this team, but also Blake Flanders. And we'll start with Ben just coming in a few years back and on the heels of what is the best head coach in D2 history,
Yep.
probably most successful at this time, and Chris Lowe's. And Ben starting to create his own path and has done a great job taking what was an extremely young team and putting them top of the Southeast region.
I think what helped him out a lot in that first year, he didn't have a lot of kind of a championship hangover guys from
Right.
Chris Lowe's group. Obviously, Chris Lowe's, he had a much-seasoned group. That second year, they went to the national championship. Unfortunately, fell short to NYU before they transitioned to D1. And then it was basically a new team when Ben Hughes took it over as a first-year coach. Obviously, a lot of kind of transfers came onto that team, and also a plethora of freshmen. But then even the second year, once again, you basically have a huge turnover with more than half your lineup become freshmen. And this season, we talked about it at the end of last season and then also previewing this year, how this was his most seasoned group, and you knew they were going to have a special year. A lot of experience and hardship came their way, and I think for him, Coach Garland and also Coach Cruikshank, who they've now built a rapport after not just playing with each other, but also friendships and stuff. They have gotten the guys to buy into the system that they have. They knew what kind of experience that they had in this group, and also this group also knew we don't want to feel the way we felt after regionals last year, and they've made sure of that with claiming the number one seed at the Southeast region, and will now move on to nationals.
Yeah, and let's talk about Blake Flanders now. This is a guy that you're missing your number one center in
Yep.
Niederer, and he's still able to put this team on his back, and he's a winger. So typically you think your go-to guys as centerman, but he's scored over 30 goals and was a force night in and night out.
Yeah, he was, and obviously this is a guy that gets, I think, a lot of attention when he plays some of the top competition, because we talk about it. Even Coach Hughes, he said, this is our toughest schedule that we've had since I've taken the reins as a coach, and it really shows because you look at up and down that schedule this season, they have faced a lot of the teams that are ranked throughout different spots in the regional rankings, and also teams that will be playing in their respective regionals or already have gotten auto bids to nationals. So, and the fact that he's able to go in and night out and really perform and know that, hey, 7 in white or in blue if they're on the road is the guy that you got to look at, and he still finds a way either usually putting goals in the back of the net or setting up guys. It's just been phenomenal, and it's a well-deserving MVP for Mr. Flanders.
We talked about they're number one in the Southeast region coming into this final weekend. They were sitting at 2 behind Florida Gulf Coast, but jumped over top of them, number one. And how big is it for this team with the injuries that they face throughout the season that they don't have to go through the regionals gauntlet and they go straight to Dallas?
I think it's huge. I mean, obviously, I think this regional tournament coming up here when it does happen, well, not here, so to speak, but yeah, when it happens in a couple of weeks, will be one of the toughest in the Southeast region. And obviously, you wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams pull the upset and then find their way cashing in going into nationals, because this is a group obviously that is obviously high caliber competition. But for the Flames, I mean, the goal was to get an auto bid this year, and they were able to achieve that. The only losses they've had are teams that are currently ranked in the top 4 of their respective regions, and 3 of their losses and 1 tie have come on the heels of 2 teams that have already made it to nationals. So this is a phenomenal feat for them, and as I said, a team that really just bought in. And I think the biggest aspect of their game is they have so much depth.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that are able to put the puck in the back of the net or make some key plays. And as you said, they had the injury bug starting with towards the end of the fall semester and found a way to weather the storm and get through it. And as guys slowly came back in the lineup, chemistry started coming back, and they were able to just ride that wave of momentum. And as we said, to a MAC championship, and now they're going to ride it all the way to nationals, hopefully.
Yep, nationals are in March. We'll be sure to be covering that for you, and we'll have a national preview for you as well on the men's D2 team. Well, for Pat Strawn, I'm Rep McGibbon. Check check out the links below, all your club sports needs, and we'll see you right back here next time.